People might call you, well, you belong to the prosperity group of people. You say, yes, the ringleader is God himself. He started this thing off. He blessed Adam and Eve. He made the creation. Just look around. Don't give the devil the glory for all the creation, because the devil is not the creator. He's a destroyer. He's a thief. He wants to dethrone. He wanted to dethrone God from heaven and get up and come up to the level where he would be above the stars of God, where he was saying, I want to come up to the highest level. But God just pushed him out from where he was. You cannot dethrone God, and don't let the devil even try to think. For a moment, don't you ever think that the devil can dethrone you from your position. Take you off from your position to bring condemnation over your life and make you feel so miserable and think that you have lost everything in life and you lost your salvation. Now you're no Christian now. You're not a child of God. You lost your inheritance. You don't lose your inheritance. If you say that you have lost your inheritance, then you have no life in you. You don't have the power of God in you. You don't have Jesus in you. If somebody says you have lost your inheritance, I could imagine when Jesus spoke about the story of the prodigal son. He was talking about the disobedient son who went away from the father. I could imagine if God had said, that boy, let him come home, I'll get a hold of him. Well, the story never wound up with that. The story always wound up that God the Father was ever willing to forgive that boy and restore everything back to him. Just because you missed the mark, it doesn't mean that you lost everything. It simply means that you need to come back to him and say, here am I, I'm coming back to you, Lord. I just missed the mark, went away from you, lost fellowship. If I was in fellowship with you, it would have been impossible for me to make some foolish decisions in my life. I made some foolish decisions. Let me come back to you. Sometimes we make some foolish decisions and blame God. We live in discouragement because we make foolish decisions out of our own lives. Why would we put the blame on God? We got to turn around and come back to him and say he is ever loving. His arms are wide open to receive us back. He is not somebody who would condemn us. How could he condemn us? Jesus himself said, I didn't come to condemn the world. I didn't come to condemn the world. I came that the world through me might be saved and receive everlasting life. 1 Samuel chapter number 30 and verse number 6, and David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people were grieved, and every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David, here is a man who is really, really in a mess. He was supposed to be stoned to death. But David, what did he do? David encouraged himself in the Lord. David encouraged himself in the Lord, his God. He encouraged himself. How do you encourage yourself? How do you encourage yourself? Now, this is the old covenant saint we are talking about. He was an old covenant who was not even born again. He was not even spirit-filled. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him, got the job done, and it was lifted up. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him, got the job done, lifted up. The Spirit of the Lord was not in him as much as the Spirit of the Lord dwells in us now. After the new covenant, after the blood of Jesus Christ, we find that we are brand new creatures. They were not even born again, but there was a sense of obedience and there was a sense of heart for God in his life, because the Bible says David was a man after God's own heart. At this position, in this kind of a covenant that he had with God, He was a man after God's own heart. A quick repenter. Somebody who turned to God, somebody who was a worshiper, somebody who wanted to obey Him, somebody who was not a problem maker, somebody who was bringing glory and honor, somebody who conquered situations and brought Israel to a position where Israel would have been even destroyed. But David was a man after God's own heart, and he was just a worshiper. Since he was a worshiper, he was able to always be somebody who was very near to God. But he encouraged himself. He encouraged himself. How important it is for you to encourage yourself. Have you ever thought for a while that you can encourage yourself? You might say, I don't have people around me to encourage me. I'm discouraged. I'm in a severe position here. I'm really in trouble. There is no way that I can get out of my mess. I'm so discouraged. But we find David was in a bigger mess. While even the people whom he trusted, they went all out against him. We find that David encouraged himself. Take time to encourage yourself. How do I encourage myself? Sing songs and hymns and spiritual songs and make melody in your heart by encouraging yourself. Let me take you to the New Testament scripture so that you will do that. Encouraging yourself, because the devil uses the strongest tool to discourage people. The devil's strongest tool is to discourage people. Colossians chapter number 3. Colossians chapter number 3 and verse number 16. We'll read from verse number 15, that would help us. Colossians 3:15. And let the peace of God rule your hearts. Let the peace of God rule your discouraging hearts. Are you discouraged? Let the peace of God be your umpire. That word rule there means let Him be the umpire. Let Him give the perfect judgment concerning your heart's condition. Let the peace of God rule your heart. In your state of discouragement, let the peace of God rule your heart, to which also you are called in one body, and be thankful. Be thankful. Be thankful because you have a solution to come out. You have a situation that you're going through and you can come out of it.